Yo, what it do, family? High value basketball. Best basketball commentary on this side of the whole entire planet is back. Long hiatus. How y'all mofos been doing, man? I'm over here chilling. Been working, doing some other stuff. But I decided to come back. Let's get back on that off-season grind, man. And for my return, just want to touch on something that's lost a little traction. But I did feel like it needed to be brought up so it can be finally shut down. Joel Embiid. The whole Joel Embiid moving out of Philly thing, yo, that's a wash. Joel Embiid ain't going nowhere. And even if he does go somewhere, it's still not going to mean anything. And here's why. Joel Embiid is not, and I repeat, is not a championship level player. He just isn't. Now, I got to say, I don't disrespect Joel Embiid's skill, his ability to do what he can on the floor, his shooting ability, his range, his defense, and all of those wonderful things. The dude won an MVP. He cried about it a little bit, and good old Kendrick Perkins did what he had to do to pull the low IQ card, like he always does on television. He got himself an MVP, but we all know who the real MVP was of that season. But besides all of that, updates and all of this wonderful things to his resume, we got to keep it real, family. And part of the reason why I say we got to keep it real is I just keep seeing these terrible, terrible, terrible takes all over social media from these NBA fans. I don't know if this is like new era fans, like new generation, people born like after 1999, or a lot of international fans, because I know there's been a huge influx of international fans, and we are officially in a different generation. I'm 39, soon to be 40, so I realize I'm quote unquote an old head, if that's the correct term. I'm just seeing a lot of very odd takes about these players and these current batch of players, because essentially you keep hearing about how skilled he is and all of this great stuff that he can do on the court, and how he's better than some of these older, old school time greats. And I just got to put my stamp on it to say, we got to pause all that stupid stuff, man, because Joel Embiid is not that good. Shocking. Oh God. Run to the presses. Call me a hater. Say, oh, Joel got more money than you. Or, oh, Joel made it to a level that you couldn't make. Duh. But comparing him to all other players at his level, comparing him to all players in the history of the NBA at his level, yes, he can do more on the floor than a lot of other players at his position. However, his effectiveness in how he applies all of this stuff on the court does not get the job done. It just doesn't. If we really want to talk about players and really want to talk about their skill and really want to talk about their impact, we have to really see and use the biggest factor in this equation is how effective are they when it is needed most. Like, that has always been the biggest factor back in my day. That was always the biggest thing in separating great players and star players from superstar players was, can you do all of this crazy stuff that you do during the regular season? Can you do it during crunch time in the playoffs? Can you do it when your team needs it? Can you step up and lead your team to victory? And that's really what bothers me about Joel Embiid. And now I will continue a little bit of this series with other players too. But that's what bothers me about Joel Embiid as a player, because not only does he not show up, has not shown up in plenty of occasions, but he then also disses his teammates in the media, which is just, man, like, dude, you talking about you need other players to come with you and You need people to show up and stand up. Dude, they can't show up and stand up the way that you claim that they can't, even though that they can, because Joel Embiid's play style slows up the game. Joel Embiid's taking the ball, doing all this random shooting from all over the court, not playing with his back to the basket so he could actually make great pass out plays. He could help do misdirection. He could help set more of his teammates up. He doesn't do any of those things. He's a freaking 7-foot center vacuum who doesn't make his teammates better. He's a Carmelo Anthony without the level of showmanship. Go back and watch a lot of his plays, especially in the playoffs. Even with James Harden, another guy who I would talk about as well, who's getting very odd comparisons. Oh God, who's getting very odd comparisons to people he doesn't even equate to. But with all of these things that Joel Embiid can do, he doesn't make his team better. He's a black hole in a sense. Because I've seen plenty of games, regular season and off season, when he's not on the floor. You got Maxey out there doing his thing. You got the ball flying around. You got Harris hitting open shots. You've got legit ball movement. And of course now, as a net positive, he needs to be out there because the quality of players on the court without him, they're not going to be able to get it done either. But I see the ball moving. I see players being able to get into a rhythm. I see players being able to actually establish themselves on the court. But when he gets back into the game, the team slows all the way down into molasses. He's always standing in some inopportune spot on the court that forces other players to just be standing in the corner or just standing on the wing. Like, there's very minimal backdoor cutting. There's very minimal misdirection going on. Everything just turns into get a pick and try to get the ball to Joel on the wing, on the elbow, so he can shoot a 17-footer. And as we have seen, y'all, that doesn't even get y'all past the second round. Can't even get past the second round. But this dude is an MVP. So we have all of this stuff going on. And because this new media and this new fandom doesn't really take into account that these dudes aren't that good, instead of just literally putting the onus on these dudes and saying they need to get better, they need to expand their game, they need to become more of team players, they say no. Let's go hunt for a trade and get to some better teammates and better situation. That's where this whole Joel Embiid to New York crap came from. When that was really not a thing. Because the same thing happened if he go over to New York. He's going to go over there, suck all of the energy out of the team, suck all of the energy out of the possessions, wash out all of the good wing players who can actually make, legit contributions because he won't play in the block. And he's going to ruin the continuity of things going on over there. And the funny part about it is he could be in a potentially greater situation because they could actually keep that same core and just trade Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. Not say that would even happen on Philadelphia's side, but they could trade those two dudes and keep the exact same depth that they had before and legitimately contend in a better space. But as I said before, if he goes over there, they probably won't even make it out of the second round again because he's going to do the same thing of clumping up an offense, complaining, being the biggest ego on the team, and using his play style to simply dry up possessions and, of course, possibly get injured in some form or fashion and won't be there when they need him the most. So, we got to stop with the Joel Embiid stuff. Dude ain't a super duper star like that. Yeah, he won an MVP. But even with him scoring these 30 points a game that we saw last year, it was to the detriment of the team. And it's going to continue to be that way. Dude ain't who y'all think he is. How about you, basketball? Peace.